Hey, everybody. Welcome again to another episode of Pharaohcast. And we just want to give a quick shout out to Thick Boy for giving us these awesome pump covers. You can check out Thick Boy at thickboy.fit on Instagram. And in today's episode, we have an IFBB Pro, Cruz, where he sits down and explains to us all about his open heart surgery, his recovery, and his comeback story, as well as many, many other things. You're going to love this episode. Welcome to Pharaohcast, the official podcast of Pharaoh Fitness, where we build warriors, kings, and leaders both in and out of the gym. I'm your host, John Martin, founder of Pharaoh Fitness. Every month, we sit down with athletes, coaches, and fitness professionals to dive into their stories, their struggles, and the strategies that shaped their success. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and like on all social media platforms. Links are in the description. Ray, thank you for coming to the show and taking time out of your day. How have you been?
I've been okay. Thank you for having me.
Good. Well, Ray, we've got a lot of questions to ask you, and if you don't mind, I guess we'll just get right into it.
Shoot.
Yeah. Oh, well, we got to move that in there a little bit closer. Okay, right. There we go. So Ray, you and I met at Crunch Fitness on Bell Road. That's how we sort of crossed paths. I want to know a little bit more maybe about your background before you came to Tennessee. Where did you grow up as a kid? How did you first get into fitness?
Okay. Well, I grew up in New York City, Brooklyn, the rough streets of Brooklyn.
Yes.
It's where I lived for 32 years. And then I decided to move to Tennessee. But while in Brooklyn, my first fitness started as a kid. I was always a slim kid, and back in those days, you always got bullied on as a small kid, a skinny kid. So I made sure I wasn't one of those kids that got bullied on. Yeah. So I would start with push-ups, dips, pull-ups, just regular park stuff. Whatever I could get my hands, do pull-ups on the street lights of Brooklyn, and build a little size, And then once I moved to Tennessee, I got into the fitness even more because there's less winters here. So you show more of your body.
Right.
In New York, the winters stretch for 6 months.
Yeah.
So you're always covering your body.
Right.
I noticed in the South, it's more summer.
That's right.
So I said, I better get in shape. So that's where I started. I moved into an apartment complex and they had a little bit of weights here and there. And I started with that and it just took off.
Yeah, Ray, you had mentioned, being like sort of on the skinnier side as a kid. And, I know a lot of guys growing up that they battled the same struggle. It's really hard being really skinny because you get made fun of. Yeah. And that sort of has been their motivation or their fuel for their fire to go to the gym and work out and lift. So that is really cool. That's really interesting. Part of my fitness motivation was sort of the same thing. However, mine came from just like heartbreak and breakup, basically a girlfriend, not feeling good enough. Right. So I think we share kind of that same similarity where it's like we want to feel good. Yes. We want to feel good enough, and accepted. So no, that's excellent. Ray, I also, one very, very interesting thing about you is you are an IFBB Pro. What is that like? What does it mean to have that title?
First of all, the journey to get there, you have to win a state show to qualify for a national show. Yeah. And then a national show is where you win your card. So my first national show, I came in third place. And then, so I asked the judges what I needed to work on. They told me wider back. So I went and I worked on my back 2-3 times a week.
Yeah.
to get that back wider, and went the following year and got my pro card.
Was this at the Chicago Masters?
No, this was at it was at Philly or Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
It was at Pittsburgh. Yeah.
So you went to a Pittsburgh show.
That's where they throw the national show.
Okay.
To
Pittsburgh.
qualify for a pro card, yeah.
Okay, and so that is where, and what year was that you got?
3 years ago. I'm going on my 4th year, so that will be 2022.
Wow, Ray.
23.
Ray, I want to be an IFBB Pro.
Yeah,
I
it's
want
hard
that title.
to get there. I know.
I mean, look at you. You clearly earned it.
Yeah,
and
a lot of people train years and
Yeah.
and go to nationals and don't make it, you know?
Right.
I got lucky that in 3 years, I was able to get my IFBB Pro card.
Oh man, that is incredible.
Yeah.
Which leads me to my next question, Ray. You are in your 60s, but you look better than all the 20-year-olds at the gym. What is your secret? What is your diet? What is your workout routine like? Tell me about it.
I just don't stop. I mean, they tell me, man, you don't stop. I say, when I rest is when I'm in that coffin.
Yeah.
It's just go, go, go. I mean, I keep the same routine every year. I work out 6 days a week.
Yeah.
And clean diet. You
Yeah.
know, I actually started cleaning up my diet about 10 years ago, even though I was eating clean, but
Yeah.
I would do a lot of cheat meals in between.
Oh, me too.
Now I totally keep it clean
Yeah.
and reward myself with a cheat meal every 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I stretch it out that long,
Yeah.
and just keeping it clean. And then, a lot of taking care of yourself, maintenance-wise,
Yeah.
body-wise.
Yeah.
But dieting is the most important part.
So Ray, when you say you mostly eat clean, what is like mostly eating clean? Is that chicken, rice, vegetables?
Yeah, chicken,
mostly.
turkey, fish,
Yeah.
and steak once a week.
Okay, steak once a week.
Yeah, well, coming to that steak once a week because I used to do steak every day,
Yeah.
but it's not good for you.
It's heavy. So
It's heavy
yeah.
on you. So
It's-
you feel bloated at
Yeah.
times and all that. So I stick with chicken, turkey, and fish.
Okay, excellent. And so I hear, you'd mentioned a cheat meal once every 2 weeks. What's a cheat meal like for you?
Cheat meal, like next weekend is my cheat meal. I'm looking at burger, fries, and pizza.
Oh,
It sounds like a perfect combination.
yeah. How do you like your burger?
I like it medium.
Medium.
Yeah.
And what do you like on your pizza?
Just cheese.
Just cheese,
Yeah.
just solid cheese
Just cheese.
pizza.
But I like a nice crispy crust.
Oh yeah.
I don't like it saggy.
No, the soggy. Oh no.
I'm a New Yorker. It has to be able to fold in the middle and hold up.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Do you have a favorite pizza joint around here?
Oh, right now, Salvo's and Hermitage's.
Salvo's,
It's as
yeah.
close as I could get to New York pizza.
Yeah,
And I go there and they have Sicilians.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what that is. That's the
Yeah.
square pizzas.
yes.
And it's as close as I get to New York, man. It's the best.
Yeah. Salvo's, there's a location literally right down the road from my house.
Yes.
Yeah, it's next to the police station, and we
Yes.
order from there often.
That's the one
so-
I go to.
Shout out Salvo's,
Yes.
right? Okay, so that's excellent. And so, Ray, you'd mentioned you train 6 days a week. Are we talking the same routine? Is this like a push-pull legs, upper, lower, or what kind of is this split
Well,
like?
I split it up with like chest and tries,
Okay.
back and buys,
Okay.
shoulder one day. I split the legs. I do the fronts one day,
Yeah.
and then I do the back 2 days later.
Okay, so you'll do a quad focus and then
Yeah.
a hamstring focus
Yes,
2
because
days
the
later.
legs just take a lot out of you.
Oh, yes.
And it's
Yes.
so hard to hit. So I split them up.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, Ray, when you're lifting, do you typically go heavier weight with lower reps or more of a moderate weight with higher reps, or you kind of switch it up? Or
I go as heavy as I can, but I try to do 12 reps
12 reps?
as heavy as I can.
Okay, as heavy as you want to cap out, you want to fail
At
on the 12.
Right. But
Okay.
I'll do 15 reps, 16 reps.
Sure.
I burn out. That's because I'm older now.
Yeah.
But when I was younger, I used to go that heavy.
Oh, yeah.
And talking about younger,
Yeah.
at at 40 years old, I had shoulder surgery.
Yeah.
At 48 years old, I had knee surgery.
Oh, wow.
At 50, I had elbow reattached my tricep muscle.
Ooh.
And then I had L5S1 herniated disc. So that's why throughout the years of going heavy, I learned not to go that heavy where I could tear something or destroy something.
Yeah.
So I just high rep it, you know, to get that blood circulating and get that pump.
Yeah, absolutely.
For me, it works.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. And so were all those injuries, were they all related directly to the gym?
For heavy lifting.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, back then I used to do 315 on the incline.
Oh my goodness.
You know, and then I heard something and pop.
Oh.
You know, so you learn throughout the years. If I could teach a young person now, if I was older and be able to tell myself, you don't have to go that heavy.
It's really ego.
It's ego. Or watch how many plates I could put on.
Yeah, look how strong and tough I am.
And it just takes one little mistake to get injured and then set you back and then start all over.
You know, I always think of Ronnie Coleman when, you know, they're talking about lifting heavy for such a long period of time. And I mean, Ronnie got great results, of course, Mr. Olympia, multiple times over. But you know, he's got spinal cord problems.
He got
and so
bad problems.
You know, yeah, absolutely. And I feel like I've shifted my weightlifting routine to kind of dial it back. I used to be all about, let's see how much weight I can lift and try to impress people. But now, you know, as I've gotten older, I started, you know, thinking about my joints, you know, my tendons, and, you know, making sure that they're healthy for the long run.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, that's really good information. And Ray, you know, you had mentioned, you know, some of these injuries. I know you and I had talked, maybe a few weeks back or a few months back about you recently had open heart surgery. Can we talk maybe a little bit more of like, what were some of the things that led up to that? How much weight you've lost, and then your comeback story.
Well, you know, it all started with little chest pain. Like, first of all, it started with getting tired quicker and doing normal things, like cutting the yard. I would have to take breaks. Yeah. And then it got to a point where I would have to take longer breaks, you know, every few minutes, longer breaks. So I said, something's definitely wrong. So I went and got it checked out, and then they told me my left main artery was 70% clogged. Wow. And I told the doctor, how could it be? You know, here I am, I work out, I eat healthy. Yeah. He just told me it's genetics. Genetics that caused that, you know?
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, you know, they fixed me up in June, and through recovery, I was still trying to go to the gym and get on the treadmill, but I was still struggling. You know, and I thought it was just part of recovery. And December, they had to go back in and put a stent in it.
Wow.
Once they put that stent, my whole life changed. It's like you could breathe again, not get tired. Now I'm back on the treadmill 30 minutes every morning. You know, it's unbelievable. But it was an experience, you know. And I went down to 160 pounds.
And how much were you before?
Always around the 190
You were around like 200.
Yeah, close to 200.
Yeah. And then so you went down to
160.
160. That's like 40 pounds.
Yes.
And you've shared pictures, which we'll throw up on the episode of, you know, the before and after. And my goodness, you know, your comeback story. So talk about recovery and how you slowly put on weight. So they put the stent in. You're saying your whole life changed. Yeah. You got the energy back.
Now I can feel the difference. And the only reason I find out the difference is because I was talking to other people that had heart surgery. They told me it should have been 3 months. Here it is 5 months. I was still struggling. So that's why they put the stent in. They went back in and figured out, we need to put a stent in it. Once they put that in, my whole life changed. Yeah. I was able to eat. You know what's so funny? That to grow muscle, the oxygen, if it's not flowing through your body, you're restricting the muscle to grow.
Yes.
Because oxygen also makes muscle grow.
Absolutely.
And I was short of oxygen. That wasn't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? But once they fixed that, I could feel myself getting that pump again,
Yeah.
getting that strength again. My appetite went back
Energy,
up.
everything.
Everything changed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And so, Ray, how long? Okay, so let's just say they, how long was it from when the operation ended to when they said, okay, you can go back to the gym and start lifting weights?
Oh, it was 3 months after the surgery. They told me I could go to the gym, very lightly, take
Yeah.
it easy. Because after surgery, they actually send you to cardiac rehab,
Okay.
where they put you on a treadmill for 15 minutes at a speed where you're comfortable with,
Yeah.
elliptical, a bicycle, because they monitor your heart
Yeah.
rhythm as you're doing all this. That's how you're building your heart up.
Yeah.
So I went through a 2-month process of cardio rehab,
Yeah.
and my heart got good enough. And I just told them, I knew what it took to build my body back up, because bodybuilding's all our life.
Yeah.
So we know what it takes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody that don't bodybuild and go through a heart surgery, it makes them even older, because to work out it's hard. It was harder then when they were healthy. It's harder now with the surgery. So I knew that I had to bust out of the shell, and start doing my thing to get back in shape.
Yeah.
I knew what it took. And here I am, 8 months later, I'm back to I hit 200 pounds. I'm trying to cut down weight now.
Yeah.
So
you gained that 40 pounds
Yes, I
back,
gained
and
that
now you're ready to do a little
in
cut.
8 months.
Yeah, wow,
Yes.
that's incredible.
Less than
Ray.
8 months, I gained that 40 pounds back.
Yeah.
And now I'm cutting, doing cardio in the morning, watching my carbs intake, lowering the carb intake.
Yeah, playing with the carbs a
Yes.
little bit slowly,
Yes.
coming down there, so you're gonna lose a little bit of that body fat
Yes.
as you're coming. Are you preparing for a show?
Not right now. I'm still recovering. I've only been 8 months from
knowing you,
that
Ray,
surgery
you'd be stage ready in 2 weeks from now.
I want to get on stage. My mind wants to go.
Yeah.
But I'm taking the recommendations of the doctor. Slow it up a little bit. Get your body healthier. But I'm on my way there. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Okay, Ray. We're sort of running out of time here. I do want to ask one last question. It's going to be kind of a two-parter. What is your favorite upper body exercise, and what is your favorite lower body exercise?
Well, let's start with the lower.
Yeah.
I really don't like lower.
Okay.
And that's not, you hear this from a lot of men.
Yeah, they don't they don't train legs. Men
don't train legs as hard.
Skip leg day.
And what it is, for me now at my age, it's hard to train legs.
Yeah.
With the back problems and all that stuff. So I train them.
Yeah.
But I don't really enjoy them. I
Yeah.
train them because it's in the schedule.
Yeah, right.
To get a body that's proportioned. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I really don't like the legs. But my upper body, I could definitely tell you, is shoulders.
Yeah.
I love shoulders. And ever since my back grew, I like doing back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back.
What exercise would you attribute that helped your back growth the most?
Well, I would split the back into 2 days. I would do everything wide one day, pull down wide, everything wide grip.
Yep.
And then when I go back to do back again, everything close grip. Pull down, close grip, anything, dumbbells, keep it the middle tight and the outer tight. That's what builds the back.
Absolutely. The outer grips for kind of that wide flare, and then the closer for that back thickness.
Yeah, and I see a lot of guys in the gym looking good, but when they look at their back, they don't have no back.
Yeah.
They got shoulders, they got chest, they got arms, and the back is like flat, like none of that V shape.
No, you're exactly right. And Ray, I was just telling Tom about it. Back is one of my biggest weakness, and I'm working on getting those wings coming out. And so I'm doing a lot of that wide grip pull downs, a lot of pull ups, a lot of rowing.
You should try doing it twice a week.
Yeah, yes.
Push it to twice a week.
Twice a week. Any lagging muscle part you want to train minimum twice a week, if not 3.
Yes.
So
like calves. Calves are hard to grow.
They're very
because we use them every day, so you hit them 3 times a week.
Right. Excellent. Well, Ray, we appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you for
taking time out of your day and stopping by. We appreciate you so much, sir.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
All right. Good deal. Hopefully.